So myself, Anish De. So I am pursuing BTech in Computer Science and Technology. So currently I am in my third year, and I started IST Shipur in the year 2019. And apart from this, my hobbies are cricket, chess, and football. So that's introducing myself pretty much. So next summer I will be interning at Microsoft IDC. So I am being offered a software engineer intern at Microsoft next year. The opportunity was on campus, so Microsoft came to our campus during this year around the month of August, and it was an on-campus opportunity. So we had means we sat for that opportunity, and I was offered the role. So the internship will be of 2 months, or precisely of 10 weeks, like
Right.
10 or 8 weeks. We have a choice like 10 or 8 weeks. So the internship will be during the summer vacation and will be of 2 months or 8 weeks, like that. Yeah, so Microsoft RT, or Return to Office, has just begun. So Microsoft hasn't announced that whether it will be remote or in Bangalore or in Hyderabad. So in our offer letter, we were told that it will be in Hyderabad. So, but we haven't got the confirmation till yet that whether it will be remote or Hyderabad or Bangalore. Any, it can be any of the three. We haven't got the confirmation about the location yet. Three departments were allowed to sit for the opportunity. So it was computer science, IT, information technology, and ETC, that is electronics and telecommunications. So around 250 people sat. Out of that, around 25 got the offer, means were offered the role or the internship, and some of them got the offer through another engage mentorship, and some got through the on-campus opportunity like me. So in total, there are 25 people. So first of all, we had 3 rounds. The first round was an online assessment or an online coding test. So we had two questions. One was ED Museum level and another was hard medium level. So we had around 90 minutes, and for every question we had a specific number of sample cases that had to pass for you to submit. So once the sample cases passes, you submit the answers, but they don't show you the results, means they don't show that whether your code is passing for the other hidden test cases or not. They try to keep it secret. And then once you qualify for the OA, means if you do good in the OA, they call you for the interviews. Some had 2 rounds of interviews, some had three. So for me, it was three. I had 2 rounds of DSA. First round of DSA, I was asked something about prefix sums, and I had to solve a problem on prefix sums. And in the second round, I was asked about trees and graphs, and I had to solve a problem on trees and graphs. And in the last round was the HR round. HR told me about myself, my hobbies, my goals, what can I bring to the company, and I talked about some of my academic projects. So after the 3 rounds are over, so they offer you the role, and it is something like that if you don't do in well in the first round, they eliminate you immediately. So if you do well in the first round of interview, you get a call for the second round. If you do well in the second round, you get a call for the third round. If you do very good in the second round, they don't need the third round. They offer you directly the offer, means they directly offer the role to you. So something like this. Yeah, the questions was asked pretty much of competitive programming type. So the input constraints just very similar, means it's almost identical to competitive programming questions. So you are given the problem statement, you are given the inputs, you are given the constraints, you are given the sample input and output, and you have to write a code so that for the sample inputs, you get the sample outputs, and it works for the program. Means just as a normal CP question, it means the two questions were there. The topic I don't remember exactly, because it was different for all, and it was not based on one topic also. Means the question required 2-3 topics at the same time, like any other CP means problem, you need to have you need to use 2 or 3 concepts or data structures or algorithms at the same time. So as far as I remember, the first one was greedy, along with some sets or arrays, and the second one was DP. We had to apply DP on arrays. It was of medium hard level, and the first one was means easy medium level. So that we had to do in 90 minutes, and if you finish early, you can submit early and you can go on. So like that. It's on Codility. I never heard of that platform before. They just sent us a link. We opened the link, and I open and on opening I saw it was something called Codility.com. But the platform was very smooth, very superb. Means it was very user friendly. So I didn't have any problems coding that. So I means felt that the first round of interview or the OA focused most on problem solving skills. Means the way you think about problems, the way you approach about means the way you approach on a problem, and the interviews are more focused on how you communicate your means what should I say, how you communicate your feelings or means ideas to someone else. Means what are you thinking, how well can you communicate to the other person. So like that. So I have started competitive coding in my second year, and the one of my proudest achievements is that I am only one of the 3 coders in the college to reach candidate master on Codeforces. And at one point of time, I was also highest rated on Codeforces. Currently, some other one friend of mine is highest rated, but at some point of time, I was the highest rated coder in Codeforces of my batch of my college batch. And apart from this, I am also one of the only 2 persons in my college this year to qualify for the code jam round 2. Means me and the other friend of mine only qualified for code jam round 2. So I think these two are my biggest achievements this year for competitive coding in the field of competitive coding. Means I participated in 7 rounds of Kickstart. With my best rank was a global rank of 135, and I got around top 250 rank in 3 rounds. Means I scored a top global 250 rank in 3 of the Kickstart rounds, and my general rank was around 250 to 300 in other rounds. So like that. So Google Kickstart is a competition organized by Google. So they do this to means potentially find out the tech aspirants who are early in means who are about to start their career in tech. So it's for recruiting the new grads. So if you do good in Kickstart, there is a high chance that you will be called for an interview at Google. Although I don't know why I was not interviewed. Means maybe something I was missing. So anyway, but there are 8 rounds per year. 8 rounds. It's independent of each other. Not that if you do well in the first round, you will go to the second round. It's not that in Kickstart. Kickstart is 8 rounds of competition, and 8 equal and every round has equal weightage. Okay, so it's basically like 8 exams, like one exam, then another exam, then third exam, like that. So there are 8 rounds, and they're of typical CP contest. They are of typical CP contest type. Google Codejam is, on the other hand, is for professionals, more of for professionals. So first you have the qualification round. So the qualification, once you go through the qualification round or qualify for the qualification round, you go to round 1. So once you, uh, so those who score more than a certain number or a certain marks in the qualification round, they go to round 1. Okay. So out of all the participants who qualify for round 1, they take 4,500 participants, means the top 4,500 participants from round 1 to round 2, and the top 1,000 participants from round 2 to round 3. And then they have the world finals, and if you are in the top 3 of the world finals, they will give you cash money or cash prizes. And there is also another contest of Google called Hashcode. So Hashcode is also similar. They have 2 or 3 rounds as far as I know. The first round is in Hashcode they don't give CP problems of or problem solving, means they don't give competitive questions in Hashcode. They give you a real life problem of which there is no perfect solution. Okay, means there are many questions which don't have a perfect solution. Our only goal in Hashcode is to make a optimal solution, means optimal to more optimal. You can't have a perfect answer in Hashcode. So the person who gives the most optimal answer gets the most points, and those who gets, means give a less optimal answer gets less points. So it's all relative in Hashcode. There is no absolute or perfect answer in Hashcode. So in my second year, I started competitive programming because my seniors told me that it's very important, and now I know that it's very important. Also, my seniors correctly guided me. So I started competitive programming, and in the beginning, I faced many difficulties. Like it's not easy to start in competitive programming because your rating goes down constantly during the beginning. So it's very hard to keep going. It's means you have to keep yourself motivated enough to means overcome the initial hardships. So once you overcome the initial phase, then it's very easy to go or continue what are you doing, means once the initial hurdle is gone, it's pretty much smooth from then. So once means I overcome the initial hurdles. So like for the first 2 or 3 contests, my ratings fell continuously, and I was also on the verge of giving up. But I didn't give up because I saw that not just me, everyone's ratings are falling around me. My friends' ratings are falling. So my seniors told me that when they also started, their also ratings fell. So I thought that maybe everyone's rating has fallen, so my rating has also fallen. So I didn't give up, and I kept giving contest and up solving them. So up means once I gave the contest and I couldn't solve some problems in the contest. So I used to go back after the contest was over, see the tutorials, what they are trying to say, and then try to solve them after the contest. So that way I did for the whole of my second year, and I didn't do anything much. That helped me to become a candidate master. Means I never missed a contest. I gave all of the contests on CodeChef and Codeforces, and whatever questions I felt I could have done but couldn't do during the contest, I used to go back and solve them after the contest was over. And for the internship, I before 2 or 3 months I started doing lead code or DSA. For there I practiced around 300 to 400 problems around in 2 or 3 months. And after that I gave 3 or 4 mock interviews to my friends, to my seniors, and that helped me to boost my communication skills and give confidence so that I don't mess up in the real interview. So that was, apart from this, I did some projects also on web development. So with some of my friends, so we also I did self projects, means the projects which I did on my own. Also I did group projects, means the projects which I did with a group of people or a group of friends with mine. So I did 2 or 3 projects, some self, some group. And apart from this, I did DSA and competitive programming, as I told. So hash code is basically for fun as far as I got it. So it helps you to know that how real life problems are done, or how as an engineer you will solve real life problems, because in real life you don't have a perfect solution for most of the questions. So hash code is, I feel hash code is more for exposure. So it's, and for the level of toughness, we can, if we compare CodeJam and Kickstart is way easier than CodeJam, because as I told, Kickstart is for the means for the graduates who have just graduated from college and are looking to begin their career in tech. So Kickstart is way easier than CodeJam. and hash code is different from these two, as I told, so it can be compared from with these two. So my preferred programming language is Python, because Python is very abstract and it helps you to focus on logic and thinking rather than coding a lot, because in C++ and Java you have to code a lot of lines there, and for Python you have to write a short amount of code for a similar logic. So I feel that using Python helps you to focus more on logic, focus more on your algorithm, focus more on your data structure rather than spending your time on debugging your code. And it's also very compact, so it helps when you are coming back after a long time, it helps to recapture the thoughts that you have been through while coding that a long time ago. So that's why I prefer Python for CP. And also for development also, I use mostly Python frameworks. CPP is the most popular language for CP, but Python is growing largely. Like when I started in my second year, when in Codeforces, I hardly used to find any Python coders. Means, but now I find quite a number of Python coders. So the number of Python coders are growing, and are growing means at a very large rate also. So my secret has been consistently doing it for over 1.5 and 2 years. Like I never used to, as I told before, I never used to miss contests. Like I used to give each and every contest. And another thing that helped me was practice or up solving, just as I told. So I used to practice a lot. So whenever I couldn't solve a question, I used to go back and solve that. See tutorials, take help from others, take help from friends or seniors, but I used to solve that question. So like that, the secret is nothing but you have to be consistent and you have to practice, because practice makes you perfect. So nothing else. When I see a CP problem or a CP question, I generally think for 10 to 15 minutes. If I get it's good, I code it. If I don't get, I give it an additional, let's say, another 15 or 20 minutes. So even after 30 or 40 minutes, if I don't get the logic, then I go for the tutorial. And I feel it works for me, because once I see the tutorial, I know that how to solve this kind of problems and all. So I think it works for me. After 30 or 40 minutes, if I am not getting the thing, I go for the tutorial. So currently there are no contests except the regular contests on Codeforces and Coursera, but in February we have the Google hash code, and then from March onwards we have again CodeJam and Kickstart starting. So again I would focus on those contests, except that Facebook Hacker Cup is also there. So this year also I gave Facebook Hacker Cup, so I went till round 2 again, like CodeJam. So and I was among the top 2000 India global students again. So Facebook Hacker Cup is also there. The three Google competitions are also there, so I'm focusing on these four. Also TCS Code Vita I heard, so it's for the pre-final year students, so I'll be giving that also. Apart from this, I will be keep giving regular Codeforces and CodeChef, AdCoder and Lead Code contests. So, and I hope to improve my ratings and rankings even further this year. So these are my goals and ambitions this year. So let's, if I have to give an advice from the job point of view, I have to say that there will be many rejections coming your way. Just don't get motivated. Means I also got many rejections and I am still getting many rejections. So just you have to be consistent enough. You will be you will definitely succeed one day. And from the point of competitive programming, it's all about consistency and practice. If you can keep it going consistent for a certain amount of time, you will see that results are coming, your ratings are improving, and your skills also are improving. So that's more important, that what are your skills, because rating is just a reflection of your skill, right? So if you are consistent enough, or if you are practicing well enough, your skills will definitely increase, and your ratings will also be reflected like that.
Hey YouTube, how are you doing? Stay tuned to Facebook for more awesome videos. Don't forget to subscribe.